Hello, this is Everwins here, and in today's video I want to go over my thoughts and opinions on Omega Strikers. As of the making of this video, we are currently 7 days away from the end of the Battle Pass, which is also expected to be the start of Season 2. Currently I'm ranked Platinum in the game and playing since the first beta, but since then a lot has changed, and I want to give my thoughts and opinions together while also getting my YouTube channel off on its feet with this very first video. Without further ado, let's get into it. First and most impactful addition to the game is the energy mechanic. A lot of people don't know this, but energy was not originally in the first beta of the game and was added to the second beta before the official release. Every striker has a bar under their health gauge with little ticks under them. By pressing Q, one or two things can happen. If your meter is not full, you will enter a elusive state for a short duration of time and cannot be touched by any other skills until it's over. If the bar is full and you spend the meter, you do an energy burst which will knock back any enemies in the vicinity, flip the core if it's next to you, and make yourself elusive all in one go. While the core is flipped, only you can hit it, and once hit, will travel at max speed. The energy mechanic brings a nice balance of both offensive and defensive play. Being able to understand the situations you're in and apply your energy uses accordingly will go a very long way. For example, X has been rampaging this entire game, bullying your poor goalie and seems to be aiming for you next. Do you take the punches to preserve meter since you have burst soon, or do you spend it and wait out his onslaught and try to partner with the other four knowing X's skills are now on cooldown? There are more things to consider at higher levels of play like character skills, cooldowns, and comps. It's very simple to understand and easy to pick up even if you're new to the game or just playing casually. I think energy is perfect in its current iteration and doesn't need to change. If something did need to be added, the only thing I can think of is the individual rate each character gains energy. But that might make the balance of awakenings a bit harder to manage between micro patches though. Moving on to the next game change I want to discuss is the berry mechanic. Another addition which was in the second beta. Each stage has a certain number of berries you need to slap the puck into in order to open your opponent's goal. Most stages in this current iteration of the game have one or two and also vary in their placement and size. A small addition to the game, but was a nice change to give breathing room to goalie players. In the original beta, the goal will open at random points during a round or already be open during the round start. Thus, removing this RNG aspect of worrying when the goal is going to open gives goalie players more comfort and keeps their eyes on the actions of their forwards and the enemy team. Now, every different barrier arrangement on the map will sometimes have a unique interactable mechanic. For example, the black hole explodes in Atlas's lab. With so little maps currently in the game, we may have one pop up in a future patch that may spark a discussion should this be allowed in rank or not. While I'm always open for changes to how you should approach the game depending on map choice, as this does affect characters' pros and cons, there are some maps that feel like it may drastically change how you should play the game compared to other maps in the rotation. As I mentioned before, one solution would be to keep it in just normal mode, and my second solution, but probably not the most favorable, is to reduce the likelihood of that map being chosen from the selection. I feel the latter isn't really the greatest option, as one player can be screwed over by RNG and get the map chosen over and over again, while another player can only see the map maybe like once or twice. It's just a thought, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it and see how the devs will handle these situations as they come to be. Now I'm going to get into the smaller gameplay elements that are in the game, but before I get into that, I do want to make it known that I did not forget about Awakenings. I plan on discussing them in a future video, which if you made it this far and like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to see your comments below on how you feel about the video, as this would be great feedback in terms of future videos for this channel. Now, berries and energy are the biggest heavy hitters that have shaped the game to what it is today, but there are other things that have also left me good spirits for the game in terms of longevity as well. To start, the Battle Pass, which is practically a staple for any massive online or competitive game, gives you so much value from the rewards given. These rewards range from 2 to 3 skins, one of those skins having recolors, gold explosions, and emotes. Now do keep in mind that you start off with the free version of the Battle Pass in the game. The only way you're going to be able to get the premium content from is by buying the Battle Pass straight from the Omega Strikers store. The next thing is how often the game gets updated via its micro patches. We usually receive a micro patch twice a month, one at the start of the month and one at the end of the month. These patches usually include character buffs, nerfs, and awakening buffs and nerfs as well. This can be a double-edged sword. On the bright side, the constant rotation and changes to character kits and gear mechanics will rotate characters in and out if we're only looking at the who's good and what's meta right now in terms of character picks. On the other hand, this sometimes can mean that characters might not be in the spotlight for too long after they receive said buff. Now, Sony and the devs do keep a close eye on character performance in competitive and casual play, while also keeping an eye on the Discord comments from you guys in terms of making sure that characters are receiving what they should receive from patch to patch. Now, everything I've talked about all falls back into two things: being in the action and always keeping it fresh. The game throws you right into the gameplay as soon as you complete the short tutorial, and compared to League of Legends or Dota, which has a very slow build up to the bread and butter of the game and also steeper learning curves, Omega Strikers follows a very simple dynamic. Hit the puck, carry your opponents, and get goals. Now, even though I say simple mechanics, there are other things that you can learn in order to help improve and evolve your gameplay in Omega Strikers. And even then, if you don't want to learn the deeper mechanics in the game and just want to play a simple casual match, that's perfectly fine, as Omega Strikers tries its best to make you feel that you're always rewarded for the actions that you do. When it comes to the sound effects, getting KOs, splash arts, goal explosions, the different types of goal explosions, playing off plays with your partner, everything else just makes it feel like that you're rewarded for your actions. And I think that's what the game is trying to get at. Delivering a very vibrant and colorful game while also making it feel like that you're always in the action no matter what. At the same time, the game makes it very simple to understand to what led to your victory and your downfall. You assess into the game and you're level 2 and your team and the enemy team's level 8. Maybe you're missing out on a lot of opportunities where you can hit the puck or harass your opponents in order to get the necessary experience that you need, or not just grabbing enough power orbs. Diving too much into a game, maybe you're sitting on the sidelines near the KO zones way too much, and probably just need to back off and play a bit more into the center part of the stage. Now, these are a few examples of the things I think about as I'm playing these matches, but the game also makes it so that it's easy for me to understand these situations when they present themselves. In comparison to the two other MOBAs I mentioned earlier, League and Dota, which has a lot of mechanics to keep up with in a short amount of time, you can easily miss out on very important things that might have led to either you winning or losing a game and might not understand the significance behind it. Now, I have been praising the game since the start of the video, but unfortunately no game is perfect. The negatives I'm about to point out are things I feel still should have been in the official release of the game, and doesn't make sense to me as to why we have had to wait so long for them if they're not already out now by the release of this video. The first thing would be the training room, which at the start of me doing this recording was in the game, but it's not completely customizable. For example, the one thing I feel as though should be added to the training room should be the option to be able to choose the maps. There are a lot of maps that have certain interactables, and being able to understand those interactables more will definitely help you in the long run understanding the game and being able to win more matches. The second thing would be private lobbies. Currently on Omega Strikers, the only way you'll be able to play with friends is if you split into 2 teams of 3. Once you split into 2 teams of 3, each team needs to have one person set a unique passcode that matches the other team. Once you have those passwords set, you would then just queue at the same time, and then you'll be in a match. The downside is, due to the fact that you're trying to play together through a queue, you're not going to be able to have the choices of being able to choose the map that you want to play or have certain awakenings in the game as well. Now, I feel as though as for any online game where its main focus is PvP, customizable lobbies should be a day 1 feature. I've had this feeling for other games as well, where it's not a day 1 feature as soon as release, and I feel as though it takes away a lot of potential from the game if it's not already there to begin with. And the current iteration of the passcode system I feel as though is not up to the expectations that a lobby system should have, especially in this day and age. I do know that the devs more than likely are currently working on something now, but again, day 1 of release, always for custom lobbies if you are a PvP focused game. Otherwise, that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on the game so far. I think that it's on a very good path for this current iteration, just needs a bit more polishing in certain areas. For those that made it to the end of this video, I greatly appreciate it. As I mentioned at the start, if there's any feedback that you could give me or any types of tips or comments along the line of how you feel about the video, please leave a comment below. If you want to see more content, please subscribe to the channel as well. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.